we're going to be taking you through shoulder internal rotation pails and rails. This is going to be called the sleeper. So with the sleeper stretch, what we want to do, we want to find some sort of prop, whether it's a pillow. We've got Chris using a block here to prop up the neck because you're going to be in this position for a period of time. What we want to do here is we want to make sure that that shoulder blade stays pinned down. You can do this at multiple angles wherever you feel the line of tension is greatest, but as a general rule of thumb, we're going to start by pulling this just a little bit forward, packing that shoulder blade through to the ground, and we're going to point this hand towards the crease of our hips. Our body is going to be at a 90-degree bend with our legs straight, and I'm going to have Chris take his hand and we're going to place it on the above the wrist, on the forearm. We don't want to place the hand, his opposite hand, on the hand of the arm that's pressed into the ground because we're not going to be able to get nearly as much out of it. So make a fist here, and what I want you to do, the sequence of pails and rails is going to be that we want to hold the passive stretch for 2 minutes. With the passive stretch, you want to take long, smooth inhale and exhales through the nose, and the whole purpose of this is to try and relax your nervous system to allow a little bit more passive range of motion at the joint. So 2-minute stretch. For the purpose of today, we're not going to hold the entire 2-minute stretch here. We want to educate you on how to do this so that you can do it on your own. From here, what's going to be really important, if you don't have passive range, this Pails contraction or this pushing is going to be super, super, super important for influencing the tissue or influencing the architecture to allow for greater available range of motion and have that be permanent lasting. That's another key point of this. So the Pails contraction, we want to think about as gradual. So we want to ramp up as if you're pushing your foot through a gas pedal. The reading would go not 1 straight to 100, it'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you'd hit every number in between. So it's a gradual ramp. What I want you to think about, the Pails contraction here is going to be the bottom hand is pushing back up into the top hand, but the top hand is resisting it. So he's trying to push back, but his forearm is stopping him. So the 2-minute stretch has gone by. We're going to start with a Pails contraction. And what we're going to do, we're going to ramp up and we're going to hold the top end for 15 seconds. So what I want Chris to do is gradually start ramping up, pushing, increasing the amount of tension, increasing the amount of tension, increasing the amount of tension. We want to hold, make sure we're not moving at all. And we gradually hit as hard as we can push. So we're at 100% of maximum effort that we can go pushing that hand up into this top hand. We're going to hold that for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and ramp down. So we're going to gradually ramp that down. We're going to let our foot off the gas pedal. The rails contraction would be thinking that this hand, this top hand doesn't move, and you're actively trying to pull the shoulder internally, reaching this hand further towards the ground. We don't need to ramp up the rails contraction the same. We just go 0 and we just put maximum effort. And the same thing, we hold that for 15 seconds, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we've acquired newfound range. We would suggest that you do at least 2 rounds of the Pails and rails after the 2-minute stretch. You can do 3 if you'd like, but we'd keep it at 3 of maximum. So this is going to create quite a bit of sensation. What I'm going to get him to do, let's say he's done 2 full rounds, he's then just going to come and he's going to hang out in this position here and allow some of that tension to subside before he gets up and moves on to whatever else he's going to be doing for the day. An important note with Pails and rails, you never want to do Pails and rails pre-exercise. These should be completed post-exercise and or on off days and or in the evening. We would not recommend doing these first thing in the morning unless you have done a little bit of cars to warm up your body first so that you can get comfortable in some of those ranges. And once again, we wouldn't recommend doing these if we know that you're going to have a training session later on in that day.